Hello, Pisces. Welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. All right, so we have a new setup here. I have some new soundproofing stuff, and hopefully it'll bring up the audio quality. My little arrangement in the behind the scenes here is a little different, so I have to get used to it. So thank you for being patient. Now, with every reading, that's right, every reading, I like to pull one card. Okay, when I'm setting up, I just kind of put my intention out there. Hey, universe. Hey, spirit. Hey, Ula. Ula is the name of the feminine consciousness that allows me to do these readings. She assists me. So I ask, yeah, please show me kind of like what's the energy of the day. Kind of what, if you walked into a room and felt the atmosphere, you know, it helps you kind of like see how maybe you might be directing your attention, okay, and your intentions, right? So I like to see what is the energy. Now, this is the Six of Wands. This is something that, you know, we love to see. It's not a bad card at all. It's actually titled the Victory card in the Thoth deck. And, you know, I like to think when I see this card, it's like when you have gotten through those initial stages of kind of conceiving of an idea and then, you know, kind of planning and gathering all of the things that you need to do the work that you're doing. And you know, absolutely, it's always going to be, no matter what you're doing, if you're moving your house or if you're, you know, building a bridge, or hopefully not so much the bridge, but, you know, whatever it is. There are going to be things that you run into, you know, little snafus and things, you know, maybe something's missing or you can't order a certain part or, you know, whatever. These little ordeals that we go through to get going on our projects. And once we hit that Six of Wands energy, it's like, okay, the universe is like waving us on. Okay, now it's time to go, right? Like they're the crossing guard. It's your turn. Now get to work. So this is a wonderful sign. It is a good energy to start with. And I'm excited to see what does it have to do with our tea leaves. So I'm going to turn this bowl, I should say. Okay, and then we knock. And I'm going to bring it right over here. And this is where I'm going to have to figure out how I'm doing this. I have kind of this thing around my my microphone now. Okay, so first I have to say, I'm seeing a dog, a wolf, I think. And here would be like the ear and the snoot, the nose right in here. Here is the eye and the other eye. Mouth opened. Mouth wide open, like it's panting. You can see kind of this like little, you know, drops of drool just flying everywhere. Excited, very excited. That's the energy that I get. Now, within the mouth, we have a person who's kind of tumbling, right? And over here, it looks like we have the king or the emperor, okay? Kind of similar to like the chess piece, the king chess piece. And actually it's not. Yeah, it is. It kind of, look, it's right up here. It looks like it's kind of, the crown is right here. And let me see, what is going on down here? It looks like we have a parent and maybe two children. The parent here in the middle and then two children. So, what are we looking at today? What is going on here? What is going on? So the dog usually indicates to me somebody who is very loyal, somebody who you are very close to. I almost feel like this is a person that has like a very kind of somewhat mercurial, but even more Saturnine disposition. So maybe a little bit more melancholy, a little bit like of going in a slower gear through life, right? Just kind of taking it a little slower, but also really locking in where they need to. I feel like this is maybe a sibling. I feel like you are close. You're close. But it seems to me that something is going on with them. Maybe they're going through a breakup. Maybe they're in love. Maybe they're having a child or a grandchild, or, I don't know. Maybe they're going through some kind of like a rite of passage. But to me, what it feels like is they've become very aggressive, very self-serving. And I think that this is something that you probably are not used to. I think it's something that it feels almost like I don't know who this person is. I've never known them to be so selfish, and also kind of like almost feeling like this is like conniving, right? Like they've been plotting. And I think that you are taken aback by this behavior. Who wouldn't be? Especially if it's somebody that doesn't really behave in this way. They've never displayed these kinds of behaviors. And so to some degree, to me, it almost feels like you're pretty worried about what's going on with them. But we have the person who is kind of in their mouth, on their tongue. And to me, it kind of almost feels like this is them lashing out at you. Almost like you say, hey, I'm worried about you, or maybe you say this to like your mom or something. Hey, I'm worried about, my sibling. They're acting weird. They've been, I don't even know, whatever it is, right? And so that gets back to them. And next thing you know, they are bad-mouthing you, right? They're trying to like kind of turn things around on you. So everybody's paying attention to what you're doing, not what they're doing. And so I feel like this is a situation that is kind of heartbreaking. It's also worrisome because it is so much outside of their normal behavior. And that's what keeps coming through. So, it might be that this is something to do medically. Maybe it's mental health, maybe addiction issues. Maybe it is that they are getting divorced, or their relationship isn't going well, or maybe they're in a relationship now with somebody who, when they're around them, it really does kind of change their personality, and they are really being led by this person who it feels very confrontational. So, I feel like there's almost this, I'm going to run home to our parents or my mom, right? And tell her what's going on, get somebody involved, get the family involved to figure out like, how did we get here? Why does everything feel, so fragile and falling apart suddenly, but I feel like for you, it's just kind of like, I can't believe this is happening with them, because you have been so close for so long. Now we're going to turn it. Okay, we have a snowman or woman. I think it's snowman. We have the little hat. I'm going to say this is old Frosty here. Here's the circle for the lower part of the body. Here's the little head, the little hat. Okay. Yeah. And we have two people under their respective roof for their house. So okay, so it feels a lot like I feel like you must live away from most of your family. At least, like, maybe you don't live far away, but it's like you might as well live in a different universe. I think you're close with, maybe one or two people in your family. I think you're cool with everybody. But you're just not the type of person that goes super out of your way to see people. And your family doesn't seem to be like they go super out of their way to see people either. So it's kind of this like mutual, I'm just trying to live my life kind of energy. But I do feel like there seems to be I almost feel like there are like two different teams within your family, right? And I feel almost like part of the family, and I don't know if this is your maternal, but I'm guessing it's your maternal family we're talking about, that within the maternal side, there are it's divided into two different kind of groups of people, which happens in families sometimes, right? Something goes on, people take sides, and they kind of form alliances, right? And I feel like on one side, and this is maybe the side that you kind of are more bound to, we have those who are they're naturally gifted, right? They're clairvoyant or magical in some way. Maybe they're diviners. Definitely, I almost wonder if it's like faith healing or like speaking a sacred language, maybe like speaking in tongues or I don't know, something. But this is something that runs deeply in your family. And I feel like there are people in your family who get it because, this is something that's present within themselves, or they've witnessed other family members doing extraordinary things, or there's part of the family that just thinks it's all foolishness and are kind of naysayers. And I feel like for you, you're absolutely part of the procession. And I see a person here, there's a person here, there's a person here, and I feel like we also have this letter R. I'm just looking it almost feels like it's Ryan or Rain. Maybe it's Rain. Or Rick. It could be Rick, Rick as well. We have an offering. I feel like there have been women in your family who have given offering for goodwill, right? For like maybe, goodwill from the divine, from nature, from the cosmos, the goddess, the god, whatever it is. But I see we have a person here lifting up, and you can see right there. And then we have all of these. We have a fish, we have birds, we have a turtle. All of these signs of great abundance, okay? Spiritual abundance, to be housed and sheltered in a way that feels very safe. And that's what the turtle really means to me here in this context. The fish, money, the ability to make money. The bird, the ability to speak your message to the world, to share it with everybody. And I feel like this is absolutely something that has always been so important to these certain family members, your ancestors. And I feel like for you, it's also important. Now, I almost wonder if the sibling that you have had trouble with, if they are maybe somebody within the family that is kind of a naysayer, even though you've been close and they've probably always been positive about your experiences and your beliefs. And so I feel that there's maybe this fracture, this misalignment, but worry not. I don't think that this will last forever. I do feel that you will find your way back to one another. And whatever is going on with them, I hope, that it does find some kind of resolution. Now, we also have the number 7. And this looks like it says DIY. So maybe projects, right? Projects on the way. Okay. Now we have, it looks like 2 people, one here, one here. Both are reaching up towards the sky. And we have, it looks like the number 3 right here. Okay, so here's the arm and the head and the body, and this one is the arm and the head and the body. And we have a bird. We have another person over here who looks like they are on their knees, and they have a heart kind of rising from their hand. Okay, so I do feel like there is a sense of really praying and hoping and, just absolutely doing everything you can to get things back to where they feel normal again, where things don't feel like they're completely out of sorts. And so we also have, it looks like the name maybe Maya. We also have a flower. It looks like an iris to me. I love those purple irises so much. They're my favorite. And we have a duck. And the letter R again. R-Y. So with the duck, I think of the duck in this way usually, is somebody who can go with the flow of things, right? If you've ever seen ducks out on the lake and the water starts to get a little rough and choppy, they're just kind of like, on there going, woo, they don't even care. They aren't even bothered. They're just kind of like bobbing around. The waves are going underneath and everything is all good in their world. And so I feel like often when I see the duck as a symbol, it's all about just kind of being in that place where you don't let things get to you. You're just going to go with the flow. If somebody feels some type of way, that's their thing, not yours, right? Or if something at work is going wrong, you're going to do your best while you're there, but you're not going to take it home with you. That kind of thing. All right, so we have number 30 for our first lucky number. what is it? 94, number 94, and 70, and 70. All right. And then we will end with our indigo sage affirmation cards. And I will go ahead and just flip through, stop where it feels right. We have a little owl on there. Okay, and we'll flip it over, and it says, number 13, rejoice in simplicity. Occupy every point of view. Choose to know the truth because you can. Because you can. All right. Well, Pisces, I want to go ahead and tell you I love you because I do, and I thank you so much for spending this time with me. It's always such an honor. Now, if you want to like, subscribe, or leave a comment, I would love to hear from you. I don't know. I had a few days off there. I guess 2 days off. It felt like a few days. For Mother's Day and other things that were going on. I was very busy, but I'm glad to be back and recording and getting used to this new setup. I have a lot more soundproofing to do, but I'm hoping that this will up the quality of the audio. As you know, my husband, probably you know him, he's over at Dove and Serpent Tarot. His name is Paul. And some of you might remember we moved into our new home a year ago. And we had to move into a different place so we could create studios at home. And anyways, we focused a lot on my husband, on his studio. And that's fine because he films a lot more than I do, and his channel is a lot bigger than mine. So, we prioritized. And finally getting around now as school is wrapping up for the year, I'm getting a little tiny bit more time to do some of the things that I've been needing to do. And so hopefully that will help. And we'll get back to that more ASMR vibe again. All right, Pisces, I love you. I'll talk to you soon. Take care of yourself. Good night.